Hey YouTube, so I'm on my way to another Craigslist deal. I'm going to be buying a ton of Game Boy games, so a few Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advance, a couple of GameCube games, a GameCube, N64 games, controllers, big lot of just stuff. And we agreed on $100, but I'm going to test out a couple of Game Boy games, and hopefully they save and everything's good to go. So I'll get back with y'all when I get everything.
Hey YouTube, so I just got back from the Craigslist deal. I spent $100 on everything, and everything turned out pretty good. First, I'm going to show you all the stuff that I basically didn't calculate in the price that I paid. Basically, I just took all of the good stuff and I figured out what I paid to equal out $100. The rest of it, the stuff is just too little in value for me to even try to calculate what I paid compared to how much it's valued at. So I'm just going to show you all of the not really valuable stuff first, just to get that out of the way, and then I'll get into more interesting stuff here in a little bit. So I'm going to start off with a bunch of Game Boy games. I got Kirby's Pinball Land, Ren and Stimpy, Vidiots, Deer Hunter for the Game Boy Color, Bassmasters Classic for the Game Boy Color, TNN Fishing Champ. Also got Tetris Plus, Uno, Las Vegas Cool Hand, Disney's Tarzan, Billy Bob's Huntin' and Fishin', Rampart, Blade, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan, Tetris, Shadowgate Classic for the Game Boy Color. Just a couple more of the Game Boy games. Got Ready to Rumble Boxing, Zebco Fishing, and a Game Boy Advance game, Iridion 3D. Never even heard of it. Might be a good game. I don't know. I doubt it though. So that's all of the cheap Game Boy games that came with. I also didn't even know this was in there, but I got the Animal Crossing memory card that actually came with the game. It doesn't have much memory on it, but it was pretty cool. I'll throw it in with a copy of Animal Crossing to complete that. Also got a Game Boy Advance, I believe, connector cable. A Game Boy Light. It's like a little snake light. This is a Nintendo RF cable, but it's got the N64 or Super Nintendo or even GameCube adapter, so you can actually play those consoles with the RF if you wanted to. Game Boy camera, an e-reader, couple of GameCube games, NBA Street, complete, Spider-Man, complete, Turok Evolution, complete. Okay, what else? Here's another disc-only Game Boy game, or GameCube game. I keep calling GameCube Game Boy lately. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit for the GameCube. I also got a Game Genie for the Game Boy. A GameCube Game Boy adapter, but I couldn't find the disc, so I'm assuming they didn't have it, or if they did, they have no clue where it's at. So hopefully I can find the disc. I know that's harder to find than anything. I also got another Game Boy Advance connector, but this one's not a third party, it's actually a Nintendo licensed, and it also has a connector for the original Game Boy there as well. Kind of looks like a USB port. And then I think, oh no, I have some N64 games that really aren't worth too much. WCW Mayhem, WCW versus NWO World Tour, A Bug's Life, NBA Courtside, Extreme GX2, Twisted Edge Extreme Snowboarding, Turok 2, NBA Hang Time, Fox Sports College Hoops 99, and Glover. Okay, now that the least interesting things are out of the way, I can finally start piecing together what I actually paid and what I actually paid for, what it's worth. So the first thing, and I really didn't want like any of the stuff I showed you, or even these consoles, but they wouldn't separate it, and they actually had a few good things in there worth the money. So I was willing to pay about 50 to 60 bucks just for the few things that I wanted. So 40 bucks for all the extra stuff, I guess, was not too bad. But I ended up getting a Platinum GameCube. It does have all the hookups, and it came with a third-party Mad Catz controller that might see the trash can soon, and a first-party in pretty good shape Nintendo Black GameCube controller. So that wasn't too bad. I also got an N64 console. It does not have the expansion pack, it's just the jumper pack inside. But it did come with a Super Pad 64 third-party controller, a generic gray Nintendo third-party or first-party controller, official Nintendo, and the joystick is actually pretty good. And then a glacier, or like a transparent purple, I can never remember the colors for the N64 controller, and the joystick is pretty good on that as well. Getting into the handheld consoles, I got a Game Boy Color, and that does have the battery case or cover, a red Game Boy Pocket, and that is missing the battery cover. Also got a Glacier. I'm pretty sure this is Glacier. I know the Game Boy Advance colors. A Glacier Game Boy Advance. And that has the battery cover. and a Cobalt Game Boy Advance SP. And it did not come with the charger, but I have an extra charger, so that works out perfectly. Getting into the Game Boy games that actually had some value to them. Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, and it came with the instruction manual. And believe it or not, Marble Madness actually has a little bit of value to it. You know, most of the Game Boy games I already showed you are only worth like $1 or so, but this had a little bit of value to it, so I was actually kind of surprised with that. Moving on, we got Super Mario Land. Pokemon Silver. And it does not save. I've yet to find a Pokemon Silver that saves. Pokemon Yellow. And it's got a little bit of marker on there, but I can get that off. And this does save. And another copy of Pokemon Yellow. And that's got a little bit of marker on there as well. And this one saves as well, so. Two copies of Pokemon Yellow. I was really excited about that. And to finish up the Game Boy stuff, a Game Boy printer. And it requires 6 AA batteries, and it actually works, and I was pretty surprised. It's actually really cool. I've actually never had one of these before, but the Game Boy printer. And I also got a Game Boy Advance GameCube link cable. And finally, I got for the N64 Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Puzzle League. And the big meat and potatoes of the whole deal, Super Smash Brothers. And it's pretty cool because I actually just got a Super Smash Brothers in my last video. So that's 2 Super Smash Brothers in the last few days. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited about that. And I believe that is it. So as you can see, the last few things that I showed you is where the value was in that deal. Not so much the first stuff. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good pickup. Obviously, the best thing in this video is the Super Smash Brothers. But if you saw anything else that you liked in this video, just leave a comment below telling me what you liked. Just like my video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all later. Peace.